This Liverpool side are an absolute joke. Mentality monsters. They smashed Southampton 3-0 last night in the FA Cup. I can't believe they're even playing. It's ridiculous. Fixture congestion is real when you're fighting on all four fronts. And then you're playing a side who, up for a couple of weeks ago, were the best side in the Championship on form. They have Russell Martin as a young, exciting manager trying to get them back into the Premier League. If it wasn't for Ipswich and Leicester, and even, of course, Leeds United, Southampton would be straight in the automatic promotion positions. They're a fantastic side. And at points against Liverpool, when I was watching the game, they had an absolute control on the game. Let's be completely real. And Liverpool rode their luck. You can't belittle Liverpool for doing that. They had about 6 or 7 kids playing in the game. So they rode their luck and they hit Southampton in key moments throughout the game. I think it was a great observation of where this Liverpool side will have to go if Liverpool are going to win the quadruple this season. Because ultimately, it doesn't look pretty. The starting 11 for Liverpool doesn't look anywhere near as strong as it needs to be to even play against Southampton in an FA Cup game, period. I mean, to get into the quarterfinals, to get far into cup competitions, you can't wing it every single week. And obviously, there'll be a lot of players that come back in future weeks for Liverpool. But at the moment, Liverpool are grinding through games to a level where I've almost not seen it before, really. I think they're living on emotion. I think they're living on vibes. And they're trying to do as much as they can before Jurgen Klopp departs the club. It was a very, very impressive win. They smashed one of the best sides in the Championship 3-0. Sometimes sides that come out of the Championship in these FA Cup games actually are operating at a higher level because of confidence, because they're winning games in the Championship, than the sides in the bottom of the Premier League. So you can almost count it as a close to a Premier League game as Liverpool would have gotten. I'm sat there watching Jason Koumas's son score an unbelievable goal. It took a little deflection, but Lewis Koumas, I couldn't believe... How old am I? Jason Koumas, what a player on his day. Obviously a West Bromwich Albion legend, Welsh legend as well. Total footballer. I know it's Championship level and a little bit in the Premier League when he came up with, was it Brian Robson, I think? But he was a fantastic player, Jason Koumas. And Lewis Koumas has got this kind of goal-scoring ability. Jurgen Klopp came out and said that he was a natural finisher as well. And the finish was absolutely superb from Lewis Koumas. How many kids have Liverpool got in the academy whose dads used to play in EFL football? Because obviously you had Jason Koumas' son, and then Neil Dan's son, Jaden Dan, scoring 2 massive goals as well. Obviously slight deflection on the second one. But it's absolutely ridiculous. These players are going to sort of fall away a little bit if Liverpool keep going to the latter stages of the Europa League. Obviously, Liverpool got Sparta Prague coming up as well. These kind of games, these kind of players in these games aren't going to have as many appearances. They're not. I saw it as a City fan with Rico Lewis. Rico Lewis, absolutely huge for City's treble win. Absolutely fundamental. He kind of inspired this energy. And I think he reminded certain players of a certain age in the City squad what it meant to play for Man City, and they had to fight to get their place back from Rico Lewis. So I think a lot of these players that are going to come back from either injury or in bigger games, more higher priority games for Liverpool, are going to be reminded from even the likes of McConnell, from Harvey Elliott, Lewis Koumas, of course, even Quantz as well, who's come back into the side for the first time in a couple of weeks as well. These guys are going to be completely reminded what it means to play for Liverpool and ultimately what Liverpool are fighting for on multiple fronts this season. They are mentality monsters. Again, I think the Southampton side were all over Liverpool. They should have scored multiple goals. The Shea chance at the end of the game was crazy. Shea Charles, absolutely crazy for Southampton. Let's be completely real. It was almost an open net that he missed. But Liverpool get this kind of belief from Jurgen Klopp, this belief that they can grind through games, this belief that, you know, even when Chelsea had far more experience on the pitch in the latter stages of the EFL Cup final, that we can just get through tough moments. And that's why Liverpool, more than any other side, I think, have got this ability to be a little bit hamstrung, to be a little bit affected by injuries, and then kick on even more to kind of ride the spirit of what's happening at the club and try and show up for the manager. I think Jurgen Klopp gets more motivation into players than any other manager in world football. Let's just look at the Liverpool fixtures coming up and predict some outcomes of where they go in this kind of 4-horse challenge to win multiple trophies. Sparta Prague, it's a tough one because it's such a rubbish game, with all due respect. They should be grinding that one out pretty straightforward, but it's yet another game where I think kids are going to have to be used in the Czech Republic. But the reason I'm enjoying talking about Liverpool, because they offer a real rivalry to Man City in this Premier League title race. They are a serious threat. And come the game, which is after Sparta Prague for Liverpool, at Anfield against Man City, it's an absolutely massive game. It really is. Liverpool can easily win that game as well. I think City have got into a great bit of form. Erling Haaland and De Bruyne is scary. But any injuries there or any kind of early goal for Liverpool against a City defence that isn't still quite settled. It looks good, but isn't 100% settled in terms of who plays left back. Vardy's coming in and out because of injury. Kyle Walker's still making a few mistakes, isn't in the best form. That's why I'm enjoying this Liverpool-City rivalry this season. There's an element of emotion to it. There's an element of, there's a beautiful narrative, because obviously Jurgen Klopp leaving, Pep Guardiola wanting to make sure that his own dynasty is secured. These football managers care deeply about their own image. Don't let them ever think it's about the team or it's about, other factors. Jurgen Klopp is promoting these kids because obviously he trusts them with his name. He trusts them to promote the Jurgen Klopp brand wherever it may go in the future. It's not just a selfless act. He's not playing Neil Downs' son, Jadon Downs, as a charity move. He's doing it because it's firstly the only option that he has based on injuries, based on the amount of football that this Liverpool side has to play. But ultimately, it's down to the fact that they are good enough to perform what Jurgen Klopp wants to achieve this season in a cold, ruthless kind of way. So you look at Guardiola rocking up at Anfield, he will be looking at the Jurgen Klopp parade, the kind of the serenading of the manager as he leaves Liverpool, and he'll be trying to put a stop to all of that. He'll be trying to win the game outright in his final clash with Jurgen Klopp, potentially ever as Man City manager versus Liverpool versus Jurgen Klopp at the helm. He'll be looking in his own right to put a stop to it. So it's a huge game. Sparta Prague after that. But look, there's a couple of games in the Premier League that really allude to Liverpool's fortunes this season. The Liverpool derby in terms of Everton away, and then Brighton at home before we get into April. Man United in April, and a few other games as well. Huge games. Spurs, Aston Villa, and Wolves by the end of May. I think the City game will be the real big moment that I think Liverpool are building up to. They're grinding through Southampton. They'll grind through Sparta Prague. On some level, they even ground through Chelsea to some extent. And the mentality monsters are there. But if they beat Man City, this side are no joke. I don't know if they will. I don't know about the injury situations to multiple players. I don't know about the form and fitness of the likes of Nunes and Salah and Szoboszlai. Will they all be back in time, fully fit? That'll be a debate, and obviously I can't talk about that right now because we don't know. But if they win that game, this Liverpool side are serious, and it's worrying times for rival fans. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. It was a huge win against Southampton. Championship opposition, I know, but nonetheless, this alludes to this idea that how can Liverpool win the League Cup, the adrenaline, the emotion, and then they have to play in the FA Cup? It's just the cruelty of having to. It's quite. I think it's something cruel about how many football matches are played for a lot of these players. I know they're living a sort of luxurious life a little bit. Obviously, get huge, vast salaries, but on some level, it's crazy. They've played a League Cup final and then an FA Cup game straight away. It's absolutely crazy, and the fact that they're dealing with the schedule with kids, it says it all. It really does. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. I'll see you very, very soon.